Alright, Brad Notes here again. Today we're just going to implement a plant establishment program. In this case, we're just going to simulate growing some kangaroo paw in a small garden bed I've got here at my house today. It's part of AHCPG D307. It's a mouthful. So what I've just done, look, what I would do is if I was actually going to be planting some plants, which I won't be today, but we'll just demonstrate on how I would be going about it. Look, I'm just pretending I found some old pots. There's 150ml pots, which is pretty common what you get in a nursery for a young plant. So I'm just going to pretend I've actually got a young kangaroo paw in these 150ml pots. So say we're just going to plant 3 of them here today, and we were going to try and establish a bit of a kangaroo paw mass, let's say, in this small patch of garden bed. So what I've got is probably about 2 meters here along these pavers along this wall here. I know that sort of roughly just because I know those retaining sleepers along the retaining wall here are 2 meters long. So I know I've got about 2 meters there. So we're roughly going to plant these kangaroo paws about ½ meter apart, because they do get quite large. They love full sun. Kangaroo paws love 6 to 8 hours of sunlight a day. So this is the perfect spot for them. And then when the sun disappears behind that huge grevillea tree, it will see then the shade. But for most part of the day, it will see it 6 to 8 hours easily, especially in the morning to sort of 2 o'clock, say. So for the tools for the job, pretty simple. Just got a spade to dig a hole, and then once they're in, look, what I'll do is probably put some sea salt in because they're new plants. If this was a watering can, my watering can's broken, but what I'll probably do is give it a feed of sea salt. In this case, I'll be using my bucket, and just give them a feed once they're in the ground. So we can go ahead and do that. What I've got is also a site plan. I drew up a while ago as to a bit of a plant program that I was going to do once upon a time. They used to have sort of lamandras and clivias and some other stuff around my garden. But what we're looking at is an actual layout of my house. That's the existing lawn down there. There's another one down there. So that's what we're looking at this site plan at the moment, along this retaining wall. So this is the retaining wall we're looking at here, the set of steps that I'm sort of standing at the top of here. So we're actually going to plant our kangaroo paw along this retaining wall. That's obviously the existing the shed that I built there as well. So we're going to go ahead and demonstrate how we would plant that. Look, if I was buying any plant at a nursery, let alone kangaroo paw, look, I'd check its plant health and quality, make sure it hasn't got any dead twiggy bits off of it. The flowers will die off eventually, but I'm just making sure the plant has got good health from the nursery. If they're sick plants, let's say if I had a batch of 6 and one was sick, look, it would probably spoil those 6 plants if I planted them close enough together. So I want to make sure that all the plants that I buy are healthy, they're good specimens. What I would probably also do is just check the colours and variety. Look, if I wanted all obviously the same colour, we'll go red, but they're obviously a yellow variety as well. They go all sorts of colours, kangaroo paws. So I'll be checking they're all the right colour as well. Kangaroo paws will love the free draining soil. In this case, I've mulched this garden bed a while ago with some good quality Jeffrey's mulch. It's gone a bit dry since. The plants I used to have in here were irrigated. That one's just been popped off. It's which is good. So where I'll actually put my plants is irrigated already. So that's good news. So just basically have to manage the valve situation for the tap that's in the corner. That's no biggie. So we know we're going to get irrigation. We do have free draining soil because I know what type of soil it is in here. Look, I know the pH of this soil. But if this was at another client's house, what I probably would have done is actually check the pH as well, just to make sure it is right for the kangaroo paw, because I know this would love probably less acidic pH than some other varieties that are in a cooler climate. So without further ado, we'll go plant our 150mm kangaroo paw. We'll demonstrate how I would actually go ahead and dig a hole and plant these together. So I'm actually wearing a hat, some sunnies. There's not too much PPE, obviously cloth boots. Obviously with anything digging, chopping, boots are a necessity. So go ahead and dig a hole. So what I want to do is dig twice the width of the actual size of the pot, so 150, so we're obviously aiming for a 300mm round square hole. Grab our plant, look at our height, pretty good height. A little bit. Oh, went a bit deep. That's okay. All good. I want to make sure this is nice and level too. I don't want to be planting this when it's crooked. Because obviously it won't look very nice, but it will also probably tend to grow out that way. Okay, I'm happy with the size of that hole. So what I'll probably do is just tap these out a bit, tap the roots loose a bit, just upside down to get my ball of roots out. And now what I'll do is put that in the ground and then just fill it in. Irrigation line there, plug that into there, stop. Beautiful kangaroo paw. So then, as I described earlier, what I'd probably do is just get a cap full of sea salt, fill that cap, roughly 20mm, into 9 litres of water. Better if it was a watering can, but I've got the bucket, and I'd give this a bit of a water around the root zone, just to get it nice and moist. The soil's pretty dry, so that's how I would go ahead and plant a kangaroo paw. And then obviously I would go ahead and do the same with these two, or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, depending on how many, but like I said before, we're only doing the 2 meters, so that's what we're going to go with. What I'll then probably do is give my tools a bit of a clean, because the soil's so dry. Pretty easy to clean. My boots are clean. Look, I'll probably just give that a bit of a wipe with an old rag or something and put it back in the trailer. But if that was muddy, obviously I'll give that a bit of a rinse with a hose and dispose of the pots in the recycling bin. So without further ado, we've checked our site plan, we've checked the quality of plants, we've checked the pH, we've checked the soil, it's free draining, we've got some irrigation, we've got plenty of full sun, the kangaroo paw. That's to implement a plant established program for a kangaroo paw.